it's the right call. I'm glad the league didn't panic and just pull the plug completely. We're trying to give ourselves as much time as we can to make the best decision that we can to allow, if at all possible, for us to play. So,
what have you been told are the next steps here?
The next steps are to start making plans of what happens August 31st. What you're allowed to do. Our athletes will report to campus just like our regular students. Freshmen return August 13th, 14th, and 15th, and all of our returners at Lincoln return August 20th. And then will they be allowed to do anything at that point from a conditioning standpoint or strength and conditioning? I know practice can't officially start until August 31st. And so we'll work on getting all of our athletes back on campus and hopefully getting the doors of our classrooms open and get students back here to Jefferson City.
So you still don't know whether or not they're going to be able to work out in some capacity when they get back?
Yeah, the league is still working through some of those issues. With the number of leagues that have made an announcement over the last week, we wanted to put something out so that people know where we stand as a league. And we're fortunate. I think we've arguably got one of the best Division II conferences in the country. I think they've got the interest of the student athletes at heart, and we're hoping that we can play some kind of fall season. It may be reduced number of games. At this point, the NCAA hasn't moved fall championships to the spring yet. So until that decision is made, we have some flexibility to try to get some regular season games in.
So are those first 3 games just canceled or postponed? What's your –
Well, the MIAA has agreed to pick up the schedule if we're allowed to play in the fall with wherever we are at that point. We're not going to redo schedules again. There's a chance that we may play a few games in the fall, and if fall championships get moved to the spring, then we'll play a reduced season in the spring that leads into the championship seasons. And so I think the league is kind of taking a step in the right direction, being at the forefront of this thing, and to try to allow for us to play some contests here in the fall with hopes of maybe a spring championship.
How important is football for your guys' athletic department financially?
Financially, the biggest thing for us in Division II, most of the time, athletics drives enrollment. And so I think what many of our peers have seen across the country with decisions to move to spring is maybe a delay in some of the students and student athletes as well, determining whether or not they're going to go back to school in the fall. Participation in Division II is based on full-time semesters. And so some student athletes that know they're not going to play in the fall may decide to take that semester off to maintain that eligibility. And so for us, it's a big deal to try to get our students back. It's the student experience here on campus when you have football games that we're trying to provide for not only our athletes, but for our students and for our community.
Does let's see here. Do the students need to be in class in person for you guys to play? I know we've talked to Mizzou and they've said that that's not true. I was just curious if that's –
No, students have to be enrolled in 12 full-time semester hours. And so if they're registered in 12 hours, they're able to play and compete. And so whether that's virtual or whether that's in person, we're fortunate that that's what it takes. Some of our classes, we're expecting that they may be online with the scenario that we're facing right now, but we do expect right now to have in-person classes here at Lincoln University.
I know you guys already announced the women's bowling program, which didn't seem to be too big a deal. Didn't really affect anyone for the most part. Do you anticipate having to cut any other programs in the future?
We don't at this point. Enrollment, tuition dollars, and state revenue kind of drives what we do here in athletics at Lincoln University. We've been fortunate with our local sponsors and our relationships to be able to support that. Our Blue Tiger Athletic Club has been a tremendous asset here, and that fan base remains a big part of what we're going to do moving forward. And so we don't anticipate at this time having to make any additional cuts. I'm sure we'll have to watch what we're doing from a spending standpoint, which we're doing across the university, not just in athletics. So we're confident right now that the athletic programs that we have are going to continue to move forward.
How's the basketball team doing? What's your contact with them been these last couple months?
It's Zoom like we're doing right now. It's text messages, group chats. They're a resilient bunch. I think those guys are looking forward to getting back to campus. We've been fortunate. We've signed 5 players at this point, and that'll be making their way to Jefferson City here in the next month or so. And we're hopeful right now. There's no talk in the MIAA right now about winter sports. And so we're just going to give it our best go for the fall sports and with hopes that things are better before October 15th when practice officially starts for winter sports. And right now we're planning to play a reduced schedule regardless of what happens with 22 conference games only for a regular season this year. So our first athletic contest in winter basketball will not be until November 21st. And so we got a little bit more time here to see what's going to happen.
Has recruiting for you changed at all? You know, with more talk about HBCUs and you know, making the decision to go to Howard. What are your takes on that, and how do you think that could help Lincoln?
You know, for a long time, we've used the fact that HBCUs generally provide more of a family atmosphere that you don't always find on campuses. And so we've always sold that as a relationship deal here at Lincoln University. We have talked to young men that are interested now in exploring the HBCU option. And so, you know, we leave all of those avenues open. Recruiting has been interesting this year. We've signed 5 guys. Only one of them has been to our campus. The rest have been recruited via FaceTime or via Zoom, campus tours, a lot of videos that we've seen that are now from our students that are now on YouTube to share with prospect. And so it's been different. I like to tell people it's helped me. I feel good about the guys that our program has signed, and we're excited about the future, what's going to take place here.
What have you learned from the COVID-19 experience as an athletic director, as a head men's basketball coach? Just about, like, what are your takeaways from all this, I guess?
The biggest thing is to control what you can control. We can't control what happens. We can control our response to what it is that happens. And there's a lot of planning that goes into it that maybe 2 days from now is no longer necessary. It's changed. And so you have to be flexible. You have to be willing to change and to adapt, not to be so stuck in your ways that it has to be exactly like it's always been. Our experience here is about our student athletes, and we're going to do all we can to keep them safe and provide them with an opportunity to participate in the sports that they've grown up loving to play. And for us in Division II, we use athletics as a tool for them to get an education to prepare them for life beyond sport. And we're confident that there's going to be lessons learned this year that are going to benefit us the rest of our lives.
Well, with your contact, you know, with all the student athletes at Lincoln, what is how do you think they're feeling about playing sports? Would you say the majority ready to get back out there, or are there some hesitations at all?
I think the athletes want to play. Certainly they want to be safe in doing so, but they put so much time and effort into training for their sports that they want the opportunity to compete. The relationships that you build with teammates and the bonds that are formed between players and coaches, those things I don't think can be replaced. And so right now, while it's different, once our students get back, and we'll continue to do what we've done here, and I think that means that the majority of our athletes are excited about putting on the Blue Tiger uniform.